Welcome back. Welcome back to the iCal Caribbean Reality TV experience. Here you get the Black perspective, you get the Caribbean perspective, you get the womanist perspective, and you get an academic perspective. Like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for hanging out with us. We're reviewing now Love Island USA, and now we're on episode 20. Oh, you've got mail. So let's jump right into it. We start off with Kayda and Che having a chat. He seems really nice. But Kayda is not interested, Che. They're speaking about weddings, and although she says Che is growing on her. Okay, let me preface this because this whole review is going to be me trying to track the ways in which Zach and Bryce are just gunning for that 100K and had plotted and planned to go into the castle's experience, doing the least, encouraging the others to do the most so that they go back and they're the front runners for the 100K. It may seem a little wild, but walk with me here. I've been tracking it for a while, and I think it's also apparent that even Trinity and Kayda are a part of this. Walk with me. So we have Zach after Zach and the racist girl that thankfully they finally got kicked out, having a chat, and he's like, yeah, I've been thinking of Kayda. And she says, yeah, she can see his wall is up. And I don't know with her, is it more problematic that she's racist or that she went after Zach knowing that she'd been with the brother? Weird. And she goes in to kiss him. She don't even wait for him to be like, oh, we should kiss. He is crying about Kayda. And she's like, oh, let me kiss you now. So we have Jen and Gal. He says he wants to talk to Kenzie. Jen is not interested in anybody else. Jen tells Trinity and Anaya that Gal wants to, and she's annoyed. I'm like, good for you. Good for you, Bish. Because what did you say? Gabe is so lustful. Gabe was lusting over you, but you ain't got nobody lusting over you now. No, hey, nobody's lusting over you now. How about that? So Gal pulls Kenzie and oosh, lustful Kenzie. She says she's been waiting to talk to him, and suddenly she is moving to California. She wants him to show her around. Gal is really her type. Everybody is Kenzie's type. Kenzie. All white man that come into the villa is Kenzie's type. Point blank, end of period. And she gives 0 Fs about Jen right now. She's just like on mission. So then we see Casey and Sydney having a conversation, and he tells her he will be sleeping with Titi tonight. Trinity declares she will sleep in Soul Ties. Take one giant step towards the 100K. Okay, Trinity. Now, every time I clock something, that's what I'll be saying. So Zach declares he has to choose. If he has to choose, he will go back to Kayda. Take one giant step to the 100K. Plotting. Meanwhile, Bryce is looking distraught. Anyway, it's nighttime or whatever. Kenzie's being lustful in bed as per usual. And while Bryce and Zach, who had been encouraging people to explore, while they're chill just falling asleep, the three kulumunus, as we say in St. Lucia, kulumunus, and context clues, you know what kulumunus are. The three kulumunus, Casey, Sincere, and Corbin, making out. Big make out. I'm like, take one giant step away from the 100K. Think about the audience. People are clocking what you're doing. And everything you say, we're logging. The audience is logging. The audience is logging. So imagine production. Already they've used Bryce and Zach to help with the destruction of Anaya and Casey. And it's just like, yo, now we're going to now push you to the forefront to get that 100K. Come on, people. Come on, come on. Keep up, keep up, keep up. So it's morning time, and then I'm watching Casey speak to these white men who are acting like they're about to die because they miss their women so badly. Think about it. Casey, you have to explore. Casey, soul, soul, Casey, Casey, soul, 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 explore, explore, explore. Casey is you not exploring. Casey is playing the game. Casey is the villain. Da, 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 da. Now, the two of them moping around the house, moping around the house. And letting the three jackasses dive in pee. Dive in pee. Not thinking about the end game. But I'm okay with them not like plotting and planning towards the end game, but I always feel like we need to be aware of what is happening, always aware of what is happening around us and how people may be using us in the chess games. So you're meanwhile speaking to them and telling them about like what's going on with you, but they're moping. Zach even points out that Cynthia is so touchy-feely. I'm not getting upset this time. So then we have Casey and Corbin, Dumb and Dumber, having a conversation and talking about how, oh, they're bringing the girls back or whatever. And Corbin is like, our girls are going to run this shit because they're like college girls, and the girls back there, they're like high school girls. And I could see Casey is not comfortable because Casey, I've been telling you, Casey actually likes Anaya. He actually does like Anaya. Unlike Corbin, who's just been playing like from day dot. Casey actually cares about Anaya. And that's the difference. So he's there agreeing with Corbin and all the nonsense he's saying, and nope, 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 nope. But he is riding that train because he had been pressured so much that now he has to prove to people that he can run the play. Ask yourself, the people who are telling you you have to run the play, what are they doing now? What are they doing now? Yeah. Yay. We need to start playing chess also, Black people. Anyway, back at the villa, we have Mel, Trinity, and Jen having a conversation. Jen wants to speak to other guys. Mel said she had a chill night with Corey. Trinity on mission. Take one giant step towards that 100K. Telling the girls the guys will highly likely bring somebody back. Okay, if you think so, why aren't you exploring? You slept in soul ties. You think the guys are bringing somebody back. Mm. You need to be people. Be aware of the people who are around you. Sincere and Zach are chatting, wondering about the other guys the previous couples are with now. Zach questions Sincere about whether his connection here is better than what is back at the house. And Sincere is just spilling and digging a hole, spilling, digging a hole. How great Amara is. Ray, Ray, Ray. What does Zach say? Yeah, Alana is whatever. And he can see himself fully with Kayda. What is the audience doing? Clocking. Clocking. Because while Sincere and Casey and Corbin are talking about other girls or whatever, particularly Casey and Sincere who have Mel and Anaya waiting for them back at the house, like the audience is clocking, this is not nice, this is not fair, blah, 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 blah. Oh, look, the prince, Zach. Oh, Zach the Prince. He can't wait to get to Kidda. Oh, Bryce, what a knight in shining armor. He is crying. Trinity is crying. Kidda doesn't really want Shay. That is why I think the girls were in on the play. So we have Anaya, Kayda, and Kenzie chatting. They talk about Kyle. Anaya speaks about Kyle. How is everything on paper? She says she's good exploring. They speak about Che, how hot he is, and they were encouraging Kayda to give Che a shot, not knowing that Kayda been on another game. Kayda, y'all in the same villa, but y'all are playing two different games. Ah. So she says she's giving Che a chance, but she's thinking about Zach. Clock it. Log that in your brains, people. So you're speaking about the Zach who had disrespected you out in front of everybody and then insisted on calling you an angry black woman. No vibes. No vibes. Mm-mm. Then we have Parmida and Corbin having a dumb conversation about how hot each other is. I feel like they're perfect for each other. Corbin and Parmida for the win. We have Kenzie and Dylan having a conversation. There she is again. He's perfect. She's playing like the man playbook where they tell you whatever you want to hear to keep you. She wants a male harem, that girl. Then we have Jaden and Caleb who are leaning on each other to remain in the house. No spark. The sparks are not sparking there at all, at all, at all, at all. Then we have Amara and Sincere chatting and kissing away. Go back to the villa, melancholy. She likes what he's saying. She's afraid that Sincere is going wild. Then the mailboxes arrive. You've got mail. Pictures of what is happening in the other house. So, yes, production is trying to push them a little more so they can bring their new connections back. But remember, Zach and Bryce. Remember Zach and Bryce, Kayda and Trinity. They are not part of the manipulation game because they've already been put on, right? They already know that the play is you play a little bit, then you start moping, then you start saying that you miss your person so much, then you probably sleep alone, like Trinity did. Go back to the person. That just like literally lunges you to the front of the race for the to the 100K. And yep, the pictures come back, and I am confirming my theory. Y'all, I'm an academic. I need to have a theory going into everything. I need a hypothesis going into everything. So Kayda sees Zach kissing Alana. She crashes out. And I think she crashes out because that was not part of the discussion. To be all up on somebody like that, the girl is literally about to die. Now, mind you, it's not that I don't think Kayda and Trinity like they don't like their partners. I think they do, but there is that bigger picture that the partners have been cooking up. So, what picture do they have of Bryce? It's clearly during a challenge, kissing a toe. Good job, production. Good. As one of my students once said, he kept hearing a round of applause, but he didn't know it was a round of applause. So he kept saying a wrong and a plus. A wrong and a wrong and a plus for production for the picture that they put for Zach, right? For Bryce. And the guys now get their mail. Clearly Zach and see Kayda is kissing in a challenge. Thank you, production. Bryce didn't even care to see the mail. Like Bryce did not care. Bryce is just like hanging back, like whatever happens in those pictures is like whatever. I know I'm going back to Trinity because I know what I'm on. right? Corbin is like kissing on Palmida like he doesn't even care what picture came with Kenzie. Zach now is stressed that Kayda is in a challenge, but Kayda will see that he was kissing outside a challenge. He's obviously in a challenge, so he is spiraling because then Kayda will say, "Oh, but I thought we had to play, whatever." Bryce smirks. Camera pan to Bryce, and Bryce smirks. He has one up on Zach. How do you smirk when Trinity is going all out in the photo booth and you give zero? Anyway, Melanie loses it, and we have Anaya. Yeah. About hers has to be he has to be the one in the Fulani braids. Has to be the one in the Fulani braids. Anaya, you have no right. Don't miss the plot. You have been punishing this man for the longest while. Let him go. Kayda is down crying. Trinity is telling her she has every right to cry. Kayda storms off. Well, Casey is mad, and I'm like, Casey, you've been doing the most to impress the guys. Why are you mad? Why are we mad? About she never gave him a leg up. Oh my God, why are people so susceptible? Like, is it, I don't know, teach your kids to not be susceptible to outside noise and to sit with situations for themselves and try to understand it from their own perspective. Because this guy just had so many people in his ear, and he was being demonized for doing something that he never did, that he openly never did. He was being demonized for exploring, for wanting to explore soul, never exploring soul. And he became the villain of the house. That was very, very brilliantly cooked up against Casey. Right? So then we have Bryce pretending to be stressed, and Casey is trying to ease his concerns. Oh, poor Casey, poor Casey. Sincere says he would prefer to see a pic of Mel kissing than her giving that look to somebody else because that look is reserved for him. Kayla runs to the dressing room. Trinity runs after her because the two of them, we know the play. And I is still on those Fulani braids. And then Trinity is in her ear telling her she has woman's intuition. You have women's intuition. You have Trinity is the minute Anaya opens her mouth, Trinity is on. The minute Casey opens his mouth, Bryce is on. And that is how I know that there's something happening there. And that is again, I go back to Ace and why Ace kept saying it's so much happening. And there's so much that he couldn't speak about. And I'm pretty certain if now I go back to the previous season and I'm breaking this down like I have to break it down now for this review, then I will really have an idea of what had been happening that made Ace so uncomfortable. So again, Anaya, you play stupid games. What do you get? Stupid prizes. And then she says she at least she's honest enough. She says she feels like a hypocrite because she knows she's exploring, but it still hurts. I will give you that. They get ready for the evening. Trinity eggs the girls on to not be sad, but enjoy the night. Anaya, not all skin folk are kinfolk. So I looked at her at that point and I was like, I promise you, you will not be doing anything. And so said Sodan. She a bot. This girl, she a whole bot. The whole night she's there, staring at the table. What a treat. Trinity ain't even having a conversation with anybody. You mean to tell me you love Bryce so much? Hey! And I asked if y'all were me, what would y'all do? Trinity again jumps in, bring somebody back. Trinity, don't miss. She don't miss. Not all skin folk is skin folk, my people. And then she tells Anaya, if anybody brings somebody back, it is going to be Casey. And I feel bad because Anaya really is there thinking that Trinity is her friend. And unfortunately, this is a new channel, so obviously Anaya will never get to see this, but mm-mm, I hate it. It makes me very uncomfortable. Casey is obviously stressed as they get ready, but he's not like letting people know how stressed he is. And then continue to be the dumbass that he is like, ah, no, he has more leeway because he speaks life into Anaya. I'm like, whatever do you mean, sir? Whatever do you mean? And then we have Sincere going again. Oh, he's 50-50. Sincere is 50-50. Anyway, we have Kayda, Anaya, and Mel having a conversation. Mel says, we're the only ones stressed and we look dumb. They really think Kayda is part of their little kumbaya group. So she is passionate. Of course, Anaya agrees. And then they encourage Kayda, but Kayda is on some different shit. Even if she said, yeah, I'll be cuddling tonight. Listen to what she said. I'll be cuddling tonight. Okay. Then we have Jen and Kenzie. Um, Jen says she's fine with Gal speaking with Kenzie. Kenzie says she's there for Dylan, but yes, she's into Gal. And she's not losing a girl for a guy. Okay. Jen has a conversation with Ronnie. She clearly is not interested in Ronnie. She wants Gal, and Gal is eyeing Kenzie. But Ronnie, if that gives you 2 more days in the house, take it because it's good for your exposure and your final exposure at the end of this. So Sincere speaks to Bryce talking about how he is missing Melanie. Bryce says, yeah, he saw the photo booth pic, but he was thinking back on all their good times together. Oh, and then again, we have production giving him that one giant step towards 100K because as he's speaking, he says it's beautiful to take a risk. He drops the L word. Then he has this beautiful background music that's cued in. Dun, 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 dun. And it's like a whole soliloquy. And then you're just like, wow, wow, Bryce actually is falling in love with Trinity. No! Bryce and production are pushing Bryce towards the 100K. Young woman had a whole kiss in the photo booth. Everybody's spiraling, but you're the only one who's there, like, yeah, there were good times and whatever. And while he speaks, they intercut to Trinity, him speaking Trinity, him speaking Trinity, and it's so much love. And all of you are breaking your ankles to vote for Bryce and Trinity for the win. Guan. Because if it were up to me, I would upset them and give Corbin and Palmita the win because y'all play too hard. Especially with the fact that Trinity is like always in Anaya's ear, and it's not because she cares about Anaya, but because she's on mission. Yeah, I said it. I said, well, that's my opinion. So then we have Anaya and Carl speaking. She still wants to explore Carl. I could see Anaya is not really interested in Carl. She's talking about wanting to be serenaded and she wants like the movie life. And I'm just like, yo, nobody told you? Nobody told you love on TV is not real love? Poor baby. Anyway, while Corey and Mel are speaking, They're having a cute little conversation. Kayda and Anaya like creep up towards where they're speaking, and Kayda encourages her to kiss him or whatever. They get music also, but the music that um Bryce got was more like a missing your person, sitting at the phone. And then what music does Mel get? I like you, but my body is not ready. Come on, people. Subliminal messages. So subconscious messages, what happens is that they signal your brain to think certain things, even without you actively being like, oh, yes, this is that. Because remember, we're just like going through the paces of watching this without saying, okay, let me think about this part, let me think about that part. It's just pure entertainment. You're fostering pure entertainment to shut down the active parts of your brain, which allows you to take in subliminal messages a lot easier. And that, my friend, is why Casey, Corbin, Sincere, we see them being highly sexual all over the women, ready to explore and not thinking for themselves, vis-a-vis, always in comparison to what? Bryce and Zach, the two white men pining over their girls who are back at the villa. So we're demonizing a whole set subconsciously in the audience's brain. And we have two princes who can't wait to go back to their princesses. Bryce, who had to stop Trinity from going further. While I do think Trinity and Kayda do have genuine feelings for those men, these men are all about their 100K. They put the women on and they made the women think, oh yeah, we were actually like in love with you or whatever. But for me, qu'elle porte nouvelle. That's what one of our grand aunts told us one time. For me, qu'elle porte nouvelle, the ants will bring the news. Basically, it's saying that whatever you think is going to happen is not going to happen. And I'm saying that to both Kayda and Trinity, whatever relationship you think you're going to have outside of all this plotting and planning, it's never going to happen. And this is it for our review of episode 20. Thanks for hanging in. Consider what I've said, because I know it's outside of everybody else's opinion, because everybody now is like, oh, Bryce misses Trinity so much. And I just think it is a scheme that is being set up. Production, Bryce and Zach. Et c'est lui. Have a good day. Enjoy the rest of your day, people. Bye.